Chapter 5, Mishnah 4. The Torah commands in Exodus chapter 34, verse 25, "You shall not slaughter the blood of my offering upon leavened food." This forbids a person to slaughter the Pesach offering while there is chametz in his possession or in the possession of anyone in the group bringing that Pesach offering. This Mishnah cites a dispute about the details of this prohibition. We now turn to the words of the Mishnah. One who slaughters the Pesach while there is chametz in his possession or in the possession of anyone in the group bringing that Pesach transgresses the prohibition of, "You shall not slaughter the blood of my offering upon leavened food." Rabbi Yehuda says one also transgresses this prohibition by slaughtering the afternoon tamid of Erev Pesach while possessing chametz. The next Tana holds that a person can be liable for slaughtering a Pesach while possessing chametz only if the Pesach that he slaughters is a valid offering. Rabbi Shimon says if a person slaughters the Pesach on the 14th of Nisan, Erev Pesach, for its own sake while possessing chametz, he is liable for transgressing this prohibition. But if he slaughters it not for its own sake, he is not liable. Since slaughtering a Pesach for the sake of a different type of offering makes the Pesach invalid, Rabbi Shimon does not consider this to be legally an act of slaughter. Therefore, a person who does so does not transgress the prohibition to slaughter a Pesach while possessing chametz. Rabbi Shimon now discusses the law for other types of offerings one slaughters on Erev Pesach while possessing chametz. However, in regard to all other offerings that a person slaughters on the afternoon of Erev Pesach while possessing chametz, whether he slaughters them for their own sake or not for their own sake, he is exempt, because on Erev Pesach, the prohibition to slaughter while having chametz in one's possession applies only to the Pesach offering. According to Rabbi Shimon, the opposite is true during Pesach, as he now explains. And during the festival of Pesach, if a person with chametz in his possession slaughters a Pesach for its own sake, i.e. for the sake of a Pesach, he's exempt from this prohibition, because it is not a valid offering. However, if he slaughters it during the festival, not for its own sake, but for the sake of a shalamim, he is liable, because in that case, it is a valid shalamim offering. And for all other offerings that a person slaughters on Pesach while possessing chametz, whether he slaughters them for their own sake or not for their own sake, he is liable for transgressing this prohibition, because all other offerings are valid, even if they are done not for their own sake, except for a chatas offering that was slaughtered not for its own sake, which is invalid. Therefore, one is not liable for slaughtering a chatas in such a manner during Pesach while possessing chametz.